Did you know that ignoring your man could be the first step to reclaiming your power in your relationship? Now, what if I tell you that by ignoring him, you can make him value you more? If he takes you for granted, this is the best way to punish him for a little bit and fix things once and for all. But ignoring your man can be a little tricky, and that's why in the next few minutes, I shall uncover 8 effective ways to ignore your man to hurt him a bit or make him understand your worth without overdoing it. Now, this approach is not about mind games. It's about creating a more positive and fulfilling relationship with the love of your life. Let's begin. Number 8. Close off your body in front of him. Ladies, did you know that your body posture can make him realize something is wrong? You don't even have to speak anything to let him know about it. You can literally give him a cold shoulder with just your body language. And no, it's not about answering his questions or giving him an angry face. You can literally completely act normal and still punish him. Let me clarify this with an example. Let's say you guys are sitting together having a conversation, and since he has been taking you for granted, you want to create a little distance. This is how you do it, by closing off your body. Instead of putting your hands on the table, you cross them on your chest. You don't relax your shoulders, but keep them firm. You sit completely straight as if you are confident in your position, but not as relaxed. You don't point your legs in front of him, you shift them in another direction. These are all examples of close body posture. But what does that do? And why is it important? Psychologically, we act like this when we meet someone new or while talking with someone that we are not comfortable with. It's a natural human behavior, and it sends signals to another person that he or she should keep that distance. Now, when you do it to a man, he can literally see that something is wrong. This hurts him because you seem a bit distant, and he can't really ask about it without actually confirming it, which he can't. When you cross your arms, it means you are protecting yourself emotionally. Firm shoulders hint at a lack of openness with the person. Shifted legs means that the person in front is not really the main priority. Guys can literally see all these signals, and this definitely hurts them when you do it. But at the same time, it also forces them to start valuing you more because they normally want to fix things to normal. Now, this may be a bit tricky for the first few times, so here are some tips that you must follow. Remember, not to say something rude with your mouth. Keep talking normally to him while keeping some distance. It's about letting him feel that shift, not actually making him feel ignored. Moreover, keep it naturally and let things go with the flow instead of forcing them. Find the right time for that and not try to create one. Number 7. Don't make eye contact with him. Ladies, we all know how powerful the roles of eyes can be in interacting with a person without any words. I mean, think about it. How you started attracting your man, right? It's always the eyes that do the first thing. You guys look at each other, both feel something, and that eye contact goes a little awkwardly long, and then, this is where it begins. But what if I tell you that your eyes can do exactly the opposite as well? I mean, you can literally make him feel ignored just with your eyes. Allow me to explain. Let's assume another similar scenario where you both are sitting in a cafe, then chatting while enjoying a cup of coffee. Everything seems just fine except that he can feel something is wrong. Why? Well, because you are hurting him with your eyes. What does that mean? Well, it means that you don't look directly into his eyes, let alone make proper eye contact. Even if your eyes accidentally fall into his, you instantly look away. You either start looking at the window or at your phone screen, at some random people passing by, or just start staring at your hands. You are literally looking everywhere, just not into his eyes. Now, this creates an awkward situation where a guy feels ignored, but he doesn't know how to respond to it. For not just guys, but all the humans, eye contact is a kind of nonverbal communication. When you look into his eyes, it's like your approval, that you are interested in him. So, just a simple eye contact can make any guy excited. And similarly, a lack of eye contact simply means that you're not interested in him at all. Guys are wired to seek validation through those small but meaningful glances, which they don't get without eye contact. This simple response can make him question everything and make him wonder what the heck is going on. Not just the curiosity, but the frustration of not getting your attention can make him feel hurt. Now, let's talk about what's the right way to pull this off. Again, the first thing is to keep it natural. It must not look like you are doing it on purpose. You must appear genuinely disinterested, and like many people think, never take it as a mind game to manipulate him. Use it as a tool to get him closer to you. Number 6. Greet him coldly. We all know how practical the quote is, "First impression is a lasting impression." Well, it's in our daily lives, and this applies to everyday relationships too, especially your relationship with your man. What am I talking about? Well, it's the way to greet him in the morning or when he returns back from the office or when he returns from a long trip. Greeting him coldly is a practical way to let him know that you are ignoring him. But this one can be risky if done wrongly, so let me explain it with a few examples. Assume he returns from the office after a long and tough day, and the first thing he might want to see is you greeting him passionately, but you don't give him that. You punish him a bit for taking you for granted in the past, so instead of saying, "Hey, how's it going?" you simply say, "Hi," without giving a smile and proceed to whatever you were doing before. This shift in behavior will be very observable, and it will hurt him a bit, but it will not be direct enough to harm him. Similarly, let's say you meet him in the library, and you're supposed to warmly greet him and sit with him for some time and talking about everyday stuff. Well, instead, you just quickly say hi and walk past him like a stranger. Now, let's hold on for a minute and see what psychological impact this will have on your man. A cold greeting feels like a mirror reflecting their actions. If he's been taking you for granted, or if he has been showing mean behavior lately, a cold greeting is like a direct response that says, "Hey, you reap what you sow." He will know right away what he is being punished for and what he did. And this result will be that he will try to set things straight by giving you more attention. But when you greet him coldly, it must not come across as if you are completely a stranger. You are not starting a drama or declaring that you are ignoring him. You are just letting him know how it feels when his partner's energy is shifted from him. You are giving him a taste of his own medicine, but in a very careful manner. So when you greet him, don't completely ignore him. Give him that one quick eye contact as you say hi, and then just move on. Don't stop for him, showing him that you are kind of busy. Keep your tone neutral, your expressions minimal, and your focus on yourself. Number 5. Don't respond to his calls and texts sometimes. Ladies, did you know that stopping your replies for a while could make him realize that he can't take you for granted? I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? When you stop responding to his calls or messages for a bit, you're sending a clear message that your time isn't endless, and neither is your attention. Understand it like this. Let's say he sends you a text and he's asking how your day is going. Normally, you'd reply quickly, maybe even with a little flirty response. But instead, you hold off. You might not respond for hours or even until the next day. What happens? Well, he starts wondering why you're not as responsive. He'll likely feel a sense of uncertainty and ease, questioning if something is wrong or if you've lost interest. The absence of immediate replies shakes him up because he's not used to being left hanging. Guys who take their partners for granted often assume that they can have their attention whenever they want it. So when that's no longer the case, well, it can hit them harder than you think. They might not say it out loud, but inside, they're questioning why you're not jumping at the chance to reply. That's when they realize that they've been taking your attention for granted, and that can make them sit up and pay more attention to how they treat you. And how can you do it effectively? Well, keep it low-key. Don't make a scene or explain why you're not responding. Just let it happen naturally. Keep living your life and don't feel guilty for focusing on yourself. It's not about ignoring him forever. It's about letting him feel that shift in the dynamic. If he asks about it, make it appear as if you didn't even notice it intentionally, and you are too busy with your life. Number 4. Be emotionally unavailable. Ladies, what if I tell you that guys' need for emotional support are even bigger than physical intimacy? I mean, people love this misconception that men usually only need sex from women, but the reality is that they crave emotional intimacy more than anything. Considering this, you can literally punish him by being emotionally unavailable for the time being. Let's see some practical examples for a better understanding. Let's say he had a bad day at the office. Maybe he got fired or had an intense argument with one of his colleagues, and he seems to be very upset about it. Now, normally you would sit down, listen to everything he says, and try to comfort him, but this could also be your chance to let him know that he can't take you for granted. You need to tell him that he can't just come to you whenever he wants for comfort, and then ignore you later on. To tell him this, you don't need any words. All you need to do is become emotionally unavailable. What that means is you don't just sit next to him or listen to whatever he has to say. You don't try to comfort him and pretend to have other priorities. Show you are busy and don't have time to listen. If he doesn't get the same attention from you, it hits harder because he sees what he's missing. He will instantly realize how ignoring someone feels, especially when someone needs you emotionally. But here is one thing you need to remember. Trying to emotionally punish him when he is already upset can be a delicate matter and needs to be done carefully. What I mean is that you must not appear rude or that you are completely ignoring him. Maybe sit with him for a minute or two before moving somewhere else. Keep relaxed and casual instead of creating a tense environment. Your real purpose is to let him know that you are mad and not actually trying to hurt his feeling. Number 3. Ignore mutual friends for a while. What if I tell you that taking a step back from mutual friends would make him feel like he's losing his grip on the circle that you share? When you put some distance between yourself and the mutual friends that you have with him, it sends an indirect yet powerful signal. It's not about cutting ties permanently. It's about reclaiming your emotional space and leaving him to navigate those relationships without you. This example will clarify this. Let's say there's a regular friend group dinner or casual game night. Instead of attending, you politely decline, citing other plans or simply needing some time to yourself. When your mutual friends start asking where you've been or mentioning how much they miss having you around, well, it puts him in an awkward spot. But it's not just about feeling awkward. It does more damage to a man. Guys notice when you stop showing up to hangouts, group chats, or shared plans. Suddenly, he feels your absence is not just in his life, but in the spaces that you used to occupy together. And that can create a ripple effect of unease. It also creates a sense of uncertainty, leaving him to wonder if the distance is permanent. The best way to do this is gracefully and without drama. Don't badmouth him or make your absence feel like a statement to others. Simply take a break, focus on your friends, solo activities, and even just time to recharge. Number 2. Conduct alone the plans that you had together. Ladies, let me ask you a question. Do you have the kind of relationship with your man that you guys plan and do everything together? I mean, even if not on good terms, couples tend to plan things and follow through things together, which is a good thing because it means they both rely on each other in every aspect of life. But that doesn't mean that he keeps taking you for granted and then starts planning with you like nothing ever happened. So, here is one thing that you can do to make him realize his mistakes. You can conduct all the plans you created with him all by yourself. For example, you guys had planned to go out shopping on the weekends for an upcoming wedding. You both needed new dresses for the event, but instead of waiting for the weekend, well, you decide to go for the market on Friday and alone to get everything you need. When he finds out about it, this will hurt him because you didn't consider going with him at all, or even to tell him that you are going alone. This example is just casual. There are some other plans that could be more important for both of you, like if it's your birthday and you guys have planned a lot together. When the time comes, he doesn't arrive on time, which gives you an excuse to conduct the plans alone. And instead of waiting for him, you just move on to celebrating alone with your friends. And since he was late, the blame will be on him and you can literally punish him like this, without getting any blame on yourself. But remember, you must have a proper excuse if you want to carry out all the plans by yourself. One more thing. Some ladies might feel like it's too much, so just remember, it's not about trying to hurt him as much as you can. It's about taking charge of your life by letting him know that you can survive just fine without him, and that's why he needs to stop taking you for granted. It's a bold move, especially when there are events and they hold emotional weight. But it sends a message loud and clear. Your world doesn't stop when he drops the ball. Number 1. Make him jealous. Have you ever noticed how easily a guy can get jealous when you talk about another guy? People think it's mainly a woman thing, but the reality is guys feel jealous in the exact and intense way. Men often get complacent when they think that they're the only one in your world. A little dose of competition can make him wake up and make him appreciate what he stands to lose. For instance, let's say you're at a party or a social event where he's present. Instead of sticking by his side, casually chat with another guy, laugh at his jokes, engage in light conversation, and show that you're comfortable in your own skin. You're not just flirting in an obvious way, but you're showing him that your attention is not exclusively his. Watching you connect effortlessly with someone else will make him feel uneasy and remind him of how attractive and confident you are. This strategy works because men are naturally competitive and protective when it comes to the people that they care about. Seeing you interact with or talk about other guys triggers a fear of losing you, which can lead him to reevaluate how much effort he's putting into the relationship. Let him see just enough to spark that little fire of jealousy and remind him that you're a catch and he should never take it lightly. And with that, let's go ahead and end today's video here. I hope all the ladies enjoyed watching this. Help us make more by liking the video and subscribing to our channel. You may also share your thoughts or connect with us directly in the comment section.